sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And it seems like every start of the show, I gotta mess with the mic until we actually get on air. But I'm making sense out of the senseless. Or I at least try to. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. It's that easy. So, how was everybody's weekend? Hopefully it was as good as mine. Well, sort of. Wife's mad at me. Still trying to figure out everything. You know how it goes. You're always getting in trouble being a man. So, it will pass. I had a good time with my daughter this weekend. It was Mother's Day. So, I'm sitting back and just thinking. It's scary because my daughter is in 5th grade right now, and she's almost done. Time is flying with her. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it that she is in 5th, almost 6th grade. Damn. It's not going to be much longer, and she's going to be out of there. But, a Business Insider, Britain has found its Obama. Khan's victory, and it's Sadiq Khan. Pretty sure I butchered that first name. I know I did. But Khan. Sorry, flashbacks. Khan's victory in London mayoral election put him, in theory, just 2 or 3 election cycles away from being Britain's first non-white Muslim prime minister. His ability to win in stark contrast to the Labour leadership generally, potentially makes him Britain's Obama. The chief executive of London is the second most powerful politician office in the UK. If London were its own country, metro population of 14 million, GDP of $700 billion, it would be a formidable nation in its own right. London is 22% of UK's GDP, and that makes it a financial equivalent of Turkey or Switzerland. It is easy to see how Khan could use his term as mayor to springboard back into Parliament as a MP, where he could inevitably be seen as a successor to the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. After that, in the 2025 general election, Labour could go into battle with an experienced leader who has a track record of winning, if the party wants it that way. I don't understand it. Everybody's seen the hell that has been the United States, the issues with the United States, but yet, first Canada goes, we want some of that, and they elect a jackass Justin Trudeau. And now, England, who's getting overrun by Muslims, elects their own Obama. And it's like, what the hell do people not pay attention? And off a totally different topic, right before I went on air, I was putzing around on Facebook, as I usually do, trying to piss people off. I know I piss people off. And I love that. Tell me exactly how Obama has ruined this country. Yeah. It wasn't towards me, it was towards somebody else. And it's like, I just start laughing. Because no matter what that person says, no matter how much proof they put forth, that person will never, good morning, Cal. Glad to have you aboard. That person will never admit how bad Obama is. It makes me want to bounce my head off a few walls. They And I love how everybody uses the word fact nowadays. It's fact. You are not giving me facts. It is a fact that Obama is the best. It is fact that Obama is the worst. It just everybody throws that word around. And nobody will concede to facts anymore. Well, most people. I don't want to say nobody. Most people will not concede, even when there's facts given to them. They just keep on trucking with their ideology. And it's kind of scary anymore. Because they were told 97% of the scientists say that there's global warming, and they were morons. And to even question how 97% of scientists would agree on anything, or how they came to that number. And when you hit them with the facts, they run on that one. They don't argue that one because they know they can't. But then you get California. California is becoming the third coal-free state at a big cost. You know, it's real nice to sit there and say you want to go coal-free and we want to get away from fossil fuels. Yeah, it's real great to say, but we have no fucking alternative. And these coal energy plants, they are not as dangerous as they spout. You know, you got the left, oh, God, look at all that white pollution. Look at that pollution. It's got white privilege coming out of its stacks. Yeah, that's steam, assholes. They go through so many scrubbers. It pollutes less than your damn car. Oh, that's why I want to buy electric guitar. We got to go electric guitar. Whew. Electric car. Oh, my God. That was a... Guess I still need to wake up. But the Energy Information Agency reported that California is about to become the third state to eliminate all coal use for generating electricity. But that effort has come at a huge cost. The 2008 statement by Rudy Giuliani in a presidential debate that the United States is the Saudi Arabia of coal is true. According to the U.S. Energy Department, America has 2 267.3 billion short tons of proven coal reserves, or 26.8% of the world's total. Saudi Arabia has 20% of the world's proven oil reserve. But the consumption of steam coal used for electric generation has fallen 29% since 2007. The fourth state with the heaviest use of coal to generate electricity are Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. The only two states that do not use coal to generate electricity are Vermont and Idaho. California, with its terrific oil and gas reserves, was never a big user of coal for electrical production. California's total megawatt hour attributed to coal percent dropped from 1% in 2007 to just 0.2% in 2015. Governor Jerry Brown would like to say that the decline in coal use is due to his leadership at the COP21 Paris, France Sustainability Innovation Forum 2015 on December 12, 2015, where 195 countries agreed to reduce their carbon output as soon as possible and to do their best to keep global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. We're going to a record low amount of people that actually believe about global warming. We're at a record low. Nobody's believing anymore. That number keeps nosediving, no matter how much lies they keep pushing on us. This is bullshit, lies, fabrication. 97% of the scientists. Did you ever think to question that number? Just ask how they got to that number? Because I did. And what they did is a bunch of scientists that wrote papers on global warming. They were pro-global warming scientists. They wrote papers. They were given their own papers to grade whether you still believed it or you changed your mind on your paper. That's like giving a high school kid his own term paper to grade, and the teacher walks out of the room. And 97% of the scientists, yep, I agree exactly with what I wrote. And 3%, holy shit, I got mistakes in here. No, I don't believe what I wrote. It is not 97% of all the scientists as Obama has led you to believe with that lie, false statement. And people just soaked it up. Oh, 97, the president, and he said the discussion's over. No, it isn't. Science is an ever-changing field. The discussion is never over. All the facts that are supposed to be facts are now being proven that they were tampered with. They were falsified to make it look like there's global warming, man-made global warming, when there is no man-made global warming. It is called Mother Nature, and Mother Nature's a bitch because she changes year from year. People have this obsession that they got to blame humanity for everything. They got this guilt pushed on them, and they're ever expanding on that guilt. And I don't understand it. They got this massive guilt that they got to push. And hold on one second. Sorry about this. I had a friend of mine that did a little scare last night with a comment, and he just was he's having a bad night, and I sent him a text, and he's just responding, let me know he was okay. All right. I do apologize about that. Yes, it's Al Gore's money-generating cottage industry. Global warming. What a farce. That was from Kel. And she's dead on. America spends, and these were from last year, $22.2 billion a year. $22.2 billion a year, America alone spends. Worldwide, it's $359 billion. That's a lot of friggin' money. And there has been no increase in the temperature. What, since the late 80s? 30 years now. 30 years. I suck at math. Trying to do it in my head on the fly and talk at the same time. We will have a generation of people graduating from high school who believe in this farce that have never seen an increase in the temperature. That's got to think about it. There's going to be people graduating high school that have never seen an increase in temperature, but yet they're being indoctrinated that there's global warming, that our planet is dying. I have yet to see any of the global warming farces predictions come true. But now they're getting smart. They're putting them out of our lifetime reach, so we will never see whether, well, we know there'll be a farce. Now, I've done specials on this over and over again, and I don't want to waste much time with it, but it's something that you can't stop talking about because they keep pushing this down our kids' throats. They keep pushing this down the media. It is a farce. It is a lie. It is nothing more than a socialist propaganda because it is redistributing wealth. It has taken wealth from the United States, one of the richest countries, and it's giving it to the poorest countries. Pay attention to what they're doing. They're taking money from countries that have it and giving it to countries that don't. Because they're supposed to be polluting all this, and they're giving it to countries that really are third world that don't really have electricity that much. And if the people were so worried about global warming, why is it the guy that came up with the idea of global warming, also the one that came up with the carbon credit, where companies can sell and buy credits and keep polluting as they were, just buy credits so they don't get fined? It didn't change the output. I don't know. I can't see how people could be so blinded and hatred for humanity anymore. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundits Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date on all live streams. Well, not just the live stream. I also do Reaver rants every now and then. I was going to do one this weekend, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. And with Mother's Day and all that, I, to be honest, never got to it. My apologies. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick yourself up a t-shirt. More and more people are getting them. And also, Kel put, when we were talking about the global warming farce, the big snow job they've been pulling on us, and it's what's next? Taxing cow farts? Because they release methane. And there was actually a study done that showed that cows are the leading cause of methane being released into the atmosphere. And there's been suggestions that we need to thin down the herd. These people are nuts. The best is I posted a video this weekend. This woman walks into a restaurant, starts saying how her sister is gone, and she was loving and caring, and all she wanted to do was live her life. They were able to rescue her recently from her captivity. Her name was Snow. All she wanted to do was live. And the girl is being serious, and she starts crying about her chicken dying after it was in captivity, and that her sisters were slaughtered. She's in a restaurant. I would have yelled, yes, Snow is here. And Snow tasted good with a nice buttery cream sauce on top, with a little bit of a crispy crunch on the outside. Snow tasted so good. And I think my wife has Snow's sister. And then this woman, I mean, she's crying and carrying on because the people in a restaurant are eating chicken. People need to get a fucking life. They're trying to change Mother Nature, which will never happen. They're trying to complain about their lives are so empty that they got to pick up a cause of people eating chicken. They have to take, and what's funny is then they sit there and they also bitch about people eating meat. About cows. No, you're eating that poor cow. You shouldn't. Well, you see, what I'm doing is I'm helping the global warming movement. It is farting and creating a methane gas to be released into the atmosphere, so I am eating it before it can fart anymore. So that is my excuse as I have my next hamburger, is I'm helping the global warming cause. I am helping it one hamburger at a time. Just don't put any chili on it, or I will be adding the methane to the levels. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on. I've talked about it time and time again. These idiot global warming, they have these rallies, these marches, these million idiot marches going through the city. And look at us, look at us, look at us. And they have how many people flying in for these events? You get these big stars coming in on their private yachts and private planes. And then the litter that they leave behind. What do they call it? The carbon footprint that they leave behind with the garbage. It's a joke. And that's all it ever was or ever will be. The South Pole, the ice is melting. We're going to go do a study. We're going to go down there. Uh-oh. Our ship got caught in ice because it's a record amount of thickness and amount of ice. Oh, God. But it proves that there's global warming. Look, it's sunny out. Global warming. Look, it's raining out. Global warming. Look, my wife farted. Global warming. Oh, look at that. The old man fell down. Global warming. Hey, my flowers are blooming. Global warming. Dang it, I dropped the glass and broke it. Global warming. That's how ridiculous these people are. And then they're shutting down coal companies. Then they also are the ones that bitch and complain about the high price of electricity. Seriously, I had one of these idiots complaining about our governor Hey, she was ripping him up one side and down the other. This is in 2014, saying he shouldn't be reelected because he is in bed with the electric company and raising the cost of electricity. She can't pay for it. But then she's also bitching about the coal plants we have down here and how they need to go away. But it was our governor in bed with the coal plants. They were doubling our rates. It wasn't Obama and the EPA with all the regulations that have been put on that pretty much are killing the industry and causing our electricity to double in some incidents. That's how mindless some of these people are. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. I just... Sometimes I wonder if there's any hope for us here in the United States. Or even the world. Everybody, you gotta research your facts. Oh, I did research. No, you didn't. You did. Oh, you did. No. Everybody knows what the other person's doing or what they're thinking. That's why I try never getting those pissing contests. Because it just... I think one of the worst things and best things was the invention of the internet. It has opened up information to so many people, but at the same time, it's allowed for the dissemination of a lot of false information. And my mom will call me up. She'll be like, "Did you hear this news? They finally applied, put the paperwork into impeach Obama." It's like, "No, Mom, they didn't. They didn't. As much as I like to see it, they didn't, Mom." But this article, I was like, "Mom, you know my website?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "If I write a paper on my article, it says that they're impeaching Obama, would you believe it?" She's like, "Probably not. You don't have the contacts into Washington, D.C. to know." I said, "Exactly. But I can write that article and people will believe it." And I'm not trying to insult my mother. We've had this talk a couple times, and she understands it. She's like, "Yeah, I got to stop doing that." And it's the same thing with this global warming farce. You get so many people writing papers. You have Bill Nye the Science Guy is one of the biggest one being pushed as the scientist to show you that the global warming is real, except he's not a scientist. He plays one on TV, and that is it. There's another one. It's got a real long name. I really can't remember it. But he's on Discovery and the Science Channel, and he's always talking about this stuff. DeGracio. He's not really a scientist, guys. Smart guy, and he can talk about the subjects, but it's like Bill Nye just playing a scientist on TV. But people are like, "Oh my God, Bill Nye, the Science Guy, said." I always go back to this. In a science lab, in physics, they say an elephant can stand on an egg and not break it. If he stands on one foot and is on this area, about the size of probably like a marker, and real small, it's a small amount on each end, bottom and top, that if an elephant stood on it, it would hold up the elephant. Because in the physics lab, they know that the pounds per square inch on a certain area, it displaces all the weight and it would hold it. Go try that in real life. It's not going to work. So it's shit is not real, people. It is a farce. Does that mean we should go around polluting all we want? No. Just because people don't believe in this farce does not mean we believe in destroying our planet by doing whatever we want. And I'm sorry, though some of the best people for this planet, the champions, are the conservatives. Because a lot of us are the ones that go fishing, and we are conservative on what we catch. We don't overtake. Hunters, they know not to destroy the land around because then it will destroy what they're hunting for. And if they overhunt what they are hunting, they will no longer be able to hunt that. We enjoy Mother Nature. We enjoy the outdoors. A lot of you Democrats don't. They champion for it. They use it for politics. But you won't catch them outside. It's a big bullshit farce. And Kale runs all of her appliances at once on Earth Day. It's a fucking joke. Plain and simple. And I've used this analogy multiple times. That our weather is our leg. And it's walking along, and it hits that coffee table in the middle of the night on the big toe. And it hurts like a son of a bitch. So the weather just stubbed its toe back in the 80s. Because there were solar flares that increased our temperature. But it blinded them, and you stubbed the toe. So now you got a bunch of fucking idiots that want to chop the whole leg off because we stubbed our toe. And they want to stop all this issues because a temperature went up, temporarily went back down. There has been higher temperature spikes with no modern day pollution, if you want to call it that. There is times when we did not have modern day industry and the temperatures have gone higher. They've been lower. It is Mother Nature. It goes up and down, up and down. Like most women, Mother Nature cannot make up her mind. Dude, that's going to get me hate mail. And it was a joke, people. You can't. Mother Nature changes constantly from one year to the next. And if you look at it, there's like this pattern every 20 years. And that's what my grandfather taught me, and I've watched it, and not scientifically looking at every minuscule, looking at this, looking at that. But the weather changes every 20 years or so. It doesn't mean we should go out and pollute. But at the same time, we shouldn't be shutting down all these coal electric plants. What's coming out is almost clean air. It goes through so many scrubbers and cleansers and all this other crap. But the other choice is we go to natural gas, which means we have to do fracking, which these left people cry about. But solar power is not the answer. It is not affordable. Windmills are nice, but it's not the answer. Because at the same time, you now have the PETA groups complaining about the wind generators because it's killing birds. The left has to complain about everything. They're like a Jewish mother-in-law. And before you complain, it's a joke. And yes, I do have a Jewish mother-in-law. And I love her to death. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am trying to make sense out of the senseless as I knock the goddamn mic around with my hand. The Jersey Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream, and then click on subscribe. Keep up to date on everything that's going on with the Reaver Show. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Try to get that knocked out as fast as I can. So, all right, let's see. What are we up to next? I've had enough of... So, Glenn Beck is spewing his crap again. And now he's saying American is a petulant, but that's all, folks. Petulant child God must punish for supporting Trump over Cruz. Again, this is why people run away from religion. This is why people run away from the Republican Party. Because of crap like this. He's not getting his way, so he's been trying to use religious guilt. And it's been backfiring, and yet he still keeps doing it. Is he that fucking retarded? Sorry to say it like that, but is he that retarded? Any person with a brain would go, shit, my rhetoric is not working. Maybe I need to shut my mouth. In a tearful segment, surprise, surprise, Glenn Beck crying. Before a studio audience this past Thursday, Glenn Beck said he believes America is a petulant child that God has warned repeatedly and now must punish. This is what pissed me off. The American process happened. The majority of the Americans and conservative, Republican, spoke up and said, we want Trump. And then you have this minority led by Glenn, I cry nonstop, and false religious. I can't even think of how to put it. He's got me. It just pisses me off so bad. Glenn Beck is a wannabe 1980s TV evangelist, and not the good kind TV evangelist. He's out there crying, and he doesn't even shut his mouth when his candidate loses. His candidate is still running his mouth. And several of these higher-ups said that he needs to basically shut up, show humility. He lost. Get behind Trump like most people at past years do. And repair his image that has been damaged by his actions. And go on. But no, he continues to cry. And he bashes Trump, saying he's not going to take these... the dirty way at personal attacks. He's never done that, never will. I won't back Donald Duck. And he does it time and time again. He's like Obama. He says he's not doing it. But in the next sentence, he goes and insults Trump nonstop. But then goes and says, well, Trump's calling me names. It's not right. Then you wonder why a majority of the country went, fuck you, Cruz. We're tired of lying politicians like you. What's scary is there's more of a population than there should be believing him. I got in a discussion with somebody. They went, well, people attack Trump, attacks back. No, that's not the way it went. You need to check your facts. McCain didn't say nothing, and then Trump jumped all over him and insulted him being a veteran. Hey, asshole. McCain started making comments about Trump and saying that his supporters were crazy. So Trump responded. Then Lindsey Graham thought he would be a big badass and attack Trump and his supporters. And Trump responded with putting his cell phone number out to the public. And to show you how stupid Lindsey Graham is, he immediately threw his phone away because it was getting overloaded with phone calls. So in his little tantrum, he gave out Trump's cell phone number. Trump, being the mastermind of the media, instead of throwing and shutting his phone off, he put a message explaining his campaign. So when it got overloaded with phone calls, all they heard was a message about his campaign. And the calls quickly ended. Glenn Beck has been out there shooting his mouth off, saying God's been talking to him and saying this and that. I don't know what God thinks or says, but I think he has more important things to worry about than who gets the nomination for president. We're supposed to have free will, but Glenn Beck is trying to enslave us with religious rhetoric. He sits here and says how America is a petulant child that God has warned repeatedly and now must punish. He says that he believes that Ted Cruz would be the next George Washington and a man anointed by God and raised for these times. This is the rhetoric that Beck has gone on and on about, and every time the polls go down and down. So wouldn't you be smart and tell the man to shut the fuck up? That it's not working? His rhetoric is not working? No, Cruz kept buying into it more and more and believes what Beck has been saying. Cruz lost an Indiana primary on this past Tuesday to the GOP's now presumptive nominee. Donald Trump was especially difficult for the radio talker because he views Trump as a Hitler-like psychopath. Hitler killed people. Trump hasn't. Hillary has killed people. Beck told his student audience, which is dwindling day by day, when we say we don't know what the Lord has in store for us, oh, I do, are reaping of what we have sown, so I really think this was the last reckoning for us. This man is everything that I find evil, disgusting, and vile about any mass religion. I'm not knocking any religion. I have my opinions. But this is why I have problems with mass religions. People like Beck. And not all of them are like that, but this is what gives it a bad name, and this is why I stay away from religion. Because people like Beck. When he's spouting that rhetoric, and we will continue to make the wrong choice, he added, so I would look for the things that we're supposed to learn as individuals, but I think the country and all of us as individuals are going to reap what we have sown, and there's nothing that's going to get us out of that now. He has been spewing this rhetoric for a while now. I've heard religious people do the same thing about Trump. And I'm going to, yes, Trump is not exactly the perfect Christian warrior that everybody would like. I posted something this past weekend, and I know I'm giving a lot of people heart attacks. A lot that know me, because I don't really talk about my religious beliefs that much. But it goes on, if you think God can't use you, think again. Jacob was a cheater. Peter had a temper. David had an affair. Noah got drunk. Jonah ran from God. Paul was a murderer. Gideon was insecure. Mariah was a gossiper. Martha was a warrior. Thomas was a doubter. Sarah was impatient. Elijah was depressed. Moses stuttered. Ezekiel was short. Abraham was old. Lazarus was dead. For I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. Now, sometimes when you have a dirty job, you don't call for someone that's saintly. We have a dirty job, and and I'm going to go over this quick, and I'll try to end it because I don't want to get into religious preaching and all that. But when it comes to the religious aspect, people ask me, how can I back Trump? And this is what I think. Yes, Trump is not saintly. Neither am I. I've done a lot of bad things in my life. But I have atoned for him by doing a lot of good also. I've saved a lot of lives, and there's a lot of people alive because I busted my ass and did my job. I put my body before, I put their safety before my safety. Trump is not exactly the perfect saint. But we have a dirty job ahead of us in this country. One that we need someone to get past Hillary is going to have to get down and dirty and into the trenches and fight just as bad and evil as Hillary. Sometimes to fight evil, you need evil to fight back. Not saying Trump's evil, but you need someone that can fight that fight. And I don't think Cruz could do it. And he said so himself, that he's not willing and would not go the personal attack routes if he was the nominee. And right there, he lost that quick. Because Hillary is going to go that route. And she's going to fight and drag him down. And Cruz wouldn't know what to do. And we would lose again as Republicans. Do I think Trump's the perfect candidate? No. He has flaws. But let me tell you, he knows his flaws and he uses them to his strengths. I think he is going to correct things. And then, yes, we could bring in someone like Cruz afterwards. But I don't think we could bring Cruz in now to do the job that needs to be done. And we won't know. Nobody will know. Nobody knows until after that time. You can tell me, I've been doing it 20 years and 30 years. No, you can't. Because if you know exactly what's going to happen, please tell me what the Powerball ticket's going to be for Wednesday. I know it's dropped down. 1 million's better than no million. So if you can read the future, please tell me what the lottery numbers are going to be. Because otherwise, you're just spouting a bunch of opinions. And for Glenn Beck, he's going to have to answer to God with all his rhetoric. And using God to advance his agendas. And I think that is more evil than Trump. Trying to use God to get what you want. And that I find disgusting. And that's one of the reasons I backed away from Cruz, is because of this scumbag Beck who runs his mouth about religion and tries to use it to promote himself. And with that, I'm not going to keep going over his crap that he spews. This is a man who's judging people, and he has no room to judge. Judge, least you be judged yourself. So, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. Just remember, the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And don't forget to click on the subscribe. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click the Reaver store. And when it comes to the show, I think I got all the bugs worked out of it. Finally, all the audio issues that were going on and all that, I think I got it fixed. So, All right. Now, this is going to be bad because for those that listen to the show, no, I do not care for memes. I do not like them, Sam. I do not like them with green eggs and ham. People post them and think they're facts and end all be all. And I love when I see people, that's all they do is post. Nah, I'm totally brain fart. Kel, is that with the video? Audio is okay from the YouTube? The audio is okay, or you just listening through Spreaker? People post them, and I've seen people, the whole conversation is posting memes like they're God almighty. Well, problem is anyone can make them, and I hate to bring them up or talk about them. But this one rang true for me, and several others have loved this one, just as that the godly one I went over a minute ago. But I can go create one that says that Obama's ass caused global warming. Okay, thanks, Kel. Because I know there was a little audio issue. There was like you get that electronic hum that goes on when you have problems with your cables. I worked on it this weekend, and I think I got it all situated. Yeah, I'm not crazy about memes. I really am not. But this one says, welcome to 2016. Our phones are wireless. Our cooking is fireless. Our cars are keyless. Our tires are tubeless. Our food is fatless. Our dressers are sleeveless. Our relationships are meaningless. Our attitudes are careless. Our feelings are heartless. Our babies are fatherless. Our children are mannerless. Our education is valueless. Our youth are jobless. Our country is godless. Our leaders are shameless. Our politicians are worthless. Our government is clueless. We are speechless, and I'm scared shitless. And that is exactly what's going on nowadays. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Martian, Libertarian, you name it. That's the way things are going about. And we must right that ship. I think we can. And so far I haven't gotten any. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on an article that I wrote over the weekend and I posted last night. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I changed my mind. Hang on, let me pull it up. And the title itself. Now, I'm amazed the response that I have gotten has been very overwhelming in support, which really shocked me. And I'm serious, it really, really shocked me that I've gotten support over this. And I couldn't think of a good title, so it's just called The Libertarian Party is the Freaking Problem. I always love hearing the I am a constitutional conservative routine because it's too dang funny. The same party that screwed the 2012 presidential election are the same ones screwing it over now. They converted to the Libertarian Party. Oh la la, how frickin' special. They still have the same tactics, though. It's their way and their way only. They do not know any better or, frankly, do not care because if you disagree, they get all pissy and claim you're against the Constitution and their morals. Really? Who really gives a rat's ass if we disagree with your sorry ass and everything you stand for? I sure as hell don't, and I am pretty sure I can at least find several hundreds who don't either. Did anybody pay particular attention when Rand Paul was still in the running? Cruz and Trump were actually getting along and worked together quite well. Paul supporters spouted about being constitutional conservatives, and if you did not agree, you were against them. Shortly after Paul suspended his campaign is when the working relationship between Cruz and Trump started to go downhill. It is not the conservative or the Republican Party causing the problem. It's the Libertarian Party. And why do all this, you ask? Very simple. And frankly, it is a very simple answer. In order for the Libertarian Party to become a national party like the RNC or DNC, they need, and my numbers might be off by a few, but not much, they need 20% of the vote during a presidential election. I can't remember, it's 15 or 20. So they want to run a Libertarian nominee candidate this year. And by causing all those problems, they've added a little bit more support. And they see this as a huge opportunity. First, run a third-party candidate as an anti-Trump candidate. Secondly, the candidate running is campaigning not to actually win, but in essence, blocking Trump, and just to get to that 20% goal. Now, if that actually works, Clinton can get elected, and the new Libertarian Party gets to blame Trump, and will be able to use this occasion as a recruitment tool. The National Libertarian Party do not care that Clinton is president, does not care that she will damage the country, but they think the National Libertarian Party will then swoop in and play the hero. And if you pay attention, I would put money that it is these libertarian. And I hate to lump everybody, but every time I want to look at the Libertarian Party because, frankly, I'm getting sick of the Republican Party. It wasn't, and I don't know if it will, keep up to what my ideology is. It's questionable. So I was looking, and a lot of things sounded good when I was talking to the officers, so to speak, of the Libertarian Party. But when I started looking at meetings and all that, at the actual people that are part of it, and them holding up signs that they're pro-choice to everything. But that's what I find funny also. You got a lot of Republicans, conservatives supposedly, that ran to the Libertarian Party after last Tuesday because they think Trump's for abortion, but they ran to a party that is pro-choice on everything. The only thing they're not a pro-choice on is they are not pro-military. They don't want us spending money on the military. And all this, and then to top it off, these people are almost to violence how extreme they are with, if you disagree with them one iota, they get pissed off and start screaming that you are against them and against the Constitution. Just because you may not agree with everything blindly, you're against the Constitution. Well, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I'm against the Constitution. It means I'm against your idea. And that's why I never went to Libertarian Party. But the more I saw, the more I noticed that these people, this Never Trump movement, is nothing more than the Libertarian Party in disguise. And they've talked about how they want to, they're for being independent. But they've been dependent on the Republican Party for decades now. And they want to try to get out to become their own party, become that third party. But for that, they need a certain percentage national. They need to get on the national ballots. So they are willing, and these people don't care who they put in. And they see it as running anti-Trump. They can get that 20%. And they don't care if they sacrifice our country in the meantime. They don't care what happens to you as long as they can get that third party going. I would love to see a third and fourth party, but not at the expense of the American people, not at the expense of screwing over this country. That is no better than what the Republican and Democrat Party has done. They have screwed this country over for their own purpose. The Republican Party, the Bush Republican Party, I don't think is alive anymore. The Bush Republican Party is, and don't get me wrong, I like both Bushes. I was a supporter of both Bushes. Doesn't mean that I agree with everything or that I think it should still go on. No. We have a different country. We have different times. You must evolve. We do not have a Reagan era. Listen, I think Reagan was a great, great president. But one of the issues I see going on is they're holding him up to a godlike status. And they're trying to bring in another candidate and comparing him to Reagan when nobody will compare it to Reagan because nobody is Reagan. Take Reagan off the pedestal, and you might find some common ground with other candidates or a candidate that we have now. I'm not trying to knock Reagan. Reagan was a great president. But you're holding him to too high of a standard that nobody will be able to reach. And the man was not that perfect. And I'm not knocking his accomplishments. I'm knocking what people are holding him up to. Can't think of the words to explain it exactly, which I know it's stupid for what I'm doing and not being able to explain it perfectly. But the times of our government is changing. We need a new type of politician. Maybe we need a politician that's not a politician. No, I know that's what we need. Because that is actually what our forefathers envisioned our country for. We're not supposed to have these professional elitist upper class people running the country. It was supposed to be the common man running the country. Your farmers. Your merchants. One of the reasons they were getting sick and tired of England because there was this hierarchy that didn't know the common man's way of living ruling them. And that's what we have now. A bunch of upper class elitists that don't know what the common man goes through. And they have made it so that the common man cannot run for those positions because he cannot afford to run for those positions. I've looked into it because I've always said if you're not going to come up with a solution or if you're not going to be part of the solution, then you need to be quiet. Pointing out the negatives nonstop is not helpful. With that, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back, and I can't believe the show's almost done already. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. Ugh. Sorry, I was reading something, and I'll get to that in just a minute. The Jersey Takeover's here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to subscribe to that live stream. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Now, this just popped up on Fox News that Speaker Paul Ryan has reportedly suggested that he would be willing to step down as Republican convention chairman if Donald Trump asks. Ryan has yet to endorse Donald Trump as the presumptive GOP nominee. And this isn't, I don't think, and you got to look at it this way. If you're the RNC chairman and you do not support or believe in the candidate that they are running, how can you be the chairman to back that person? How?
So I give credit to Paul Ryan. He also has a battle on his hands. He is up for re-election, and the person that's running against him is giving him a big run for his money. Last I heard, the Ryan's actually not. He's losing in the polls to this guy. And that's... Ryan had a bright future, but I think he sold his soul, so to speak. And let me see if I have that article. I thought I threw it in here. Real quick, everybody knows that Jeb Bush and the Bush family said that they're not going to endorse Trump. And right there shows me that I was correct in not backing Jeb. Jeb, Lindsey Graham, and a few others signed a pledge to back whoever the nominee was, to support whoever the nominee is. They forced Trump to sign this, and now you have a bunch of cowards, dishonorable, disgusting people backing out on their word. Not only word, they signed the pledge. And you have Cruz backing out of it. I don't care. He signed a pledge that said, I would support whoever the nominee is. They forced Donald Trump to sign it because they figure he's not going to make it, and this will keep him from being a third-party candidate. Well, he is now the nominee, and now you have Jeb Bush, you have Lindsey Graham going back on their word, going back on a written contract. Those three are disgusting, and it shows why I did not support them. That shows what kind of man Cruz, Bush, and Graham really are. You have the others that are going, yes, we're going to endorse Trump. Most of them are looking at it going, yes, this is the way campaigning go. When you're going for the nomination, you fight tooth and nail, and sometimes things are said, but that's the way it goes. Rick Perry, Scott Walker, Rand Paul, Huckabee, Ben Carson. Trying to go through the list. There were so many of them. They're endorsing them. So that's 8. I had 9 more, and I can't think of who the other 9 are. Carly Fioroni. She's going back on her word. So there's 4 of them that are reneging and showing that they have no honor and will not honor their pledges. So how can we believe them that they will keep to their word when they can't keep to a simple pledge that they signed saying they will back whoever the nominee is? Well, honestly, how am I supposed to believe them that they would back me if they can't back Trump? So just because they may not agree with somebody, so then they're going to not back him as the conservative candidate? That is disgusting. So, there's... Oh, and this I want to get to. I'm going to play a clip. It is quite long, and I'm going to stop it here and there. This is McCain that was on CNN State of the Union Sunday. This one floored me. He is backing Donald Trump. He says that Trump is a capable leader. The only thing he said he would like to see Trump do is not apologize to him, McCain. He said he understands the things that were said back and forth. He does not hold ill will of the things that were said back and forth. He wishes that Trump would just apologize to other vets that were POWs. He's not demanding as one head. McCain demands. No, he doesn't demand. But let's go to this clip, and I'm going to stop it here and there. But
your closest friend, Lindsey Graham, just said that he's not willing to support Trump or Hillary Clinton. Why are you ready to support Trump?
Well, I've said all along that I would support the nominee of the party. I believe that a Hillary Clinton presidency will cause the economy to continue to stumble along and put us in the economic malaise that basically we've had for 8 years.
In some ways, I wonder if you think that the party leadership is sort of disconnected to what the base of the party wants. I mean, millions of supporters are getting behind Donald Trump, but the leadership is not. Are you worried that there's a disconnect there?
You have to draw the conclusion that there is some distance, if not a disconnect, between party leadership and members of Congress and the many of the voters who have selected Donald Trump to be the nominee of the party. We could go down the list, but a lot of it is older, white, blue-collar workers who see no prospect of a job ever again. We see dissatisfied young people who are carrying student debts into their first job for many, many years. So and of course, a perception, which is largely reality, not totally, that there's gridlock in Washington, and that's given rise to Trump and Sanders. And that's something that we in the Republican Party are going to have to look at very carefully.
And should your leadership listen to those folks a little bit better?
You have to listen to people that have chosen the nominee of our Republican Party. I think it would be foolish to ignore them.
So is there anything specific in Donald Trump's national security profile that's better than Hillary Clinton? Is there anything specific that you like about what he said about foreign policy?
Well, I think American leadership, he emphasizes that, and I think that's important. This president doesn't want to lead. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State for 4 years. Tell me one accomplishment that she can point to besides the fact that she flew more miles than any other Secretary of State in history. Look, I believe that the Republican Party must maintain its viability as a party, and I am a Teddy Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan Republican, and I will do everything that I can to continue to steer the Republican Party along those lines in that direction. I believe that the greatest president of the 20th century was Ronald Reagan. I will continue to try to move our party in the direction of those principles, primarily peace through strength.
Do you have confidence that Trump could be like Reagan?
I think that he could be a capable leader. I think it's obvious that there has to be outreach on his part and to heal many of the wounds. There's always wounds in spirited political campaigns, but frankly,
right there, there's always wounds. There's going to be things said. You're trying to win the nomination. You're going to be taking shots at each other. I never agreed with it because then it gives ammunition to the Democrats to use against. I mean, it's like, hey, listen, we're going to do your job for you, and we're going to sit here and go at each other and throw mud at each other, and then it's going to give you more to throw than you already had before. So I never agreed with it totally, but there is those with adult, mental, mature attitudes understands that this shit happens during these campaigns. He understands what's going on, and he's not going to hold it against them. And there's at one point, he apologizes to Palin on this. And he says that's the one thing he regrets is how badly it hurt her and how she has been attacked because of his campaign. And he doesn't apologize for anything, and I give man credit for that. Well, not that he won't apologize. He just says, that's what I did, and it's done. It's over with. Hey, it doesn't mean I'm going to support McCain. Doesn't mean I don't think he should be taken out. I do. But I give him credit for standing up and speaking his mind and speaking, the truth.
Frankly, I have never seen the personalization of a campaign like this one where people's integrity and character are questioned.
And that bothers you?
That bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot because you can violently almost disagree with someone on an issue, But to attack their character and their integrity, then those wounds take a long time to heal.
Would you appear on the same stage with Donald Trump if he came
I
there?
think it would have to be a lot of things would have to happen. I think it's important for Donald Trump to express his appreciation for veterans, not John McCain, but veterans who were in.
Right there, not John McCain, the veterans. I can see where he's coming from with that comment. I can see. He doesn't want an apology to him. He would like to see it made towards some people that inadvertently got basically caught in the crossfire.
Incarcerated as prisoners of war. What he said about me, John McCain, that's fine. Yeah, I don't require any repair of that. But when he said...
Right there. And that right there shows a man that knows politics and understands this type of shit happens.
I don't like people who were captured. Then there's a body of American heroes that I'd like to see him retract that statement. Not about me, but about the others.
You're quoted as saying that him at the top of the ticket puts your race in play, makes it difficult for you.
But
is he good or bad?
Okay, but what I was saying is that there is a Hispanic vote which I have to continue my good relationship with because of the turmoil that exists in this whole national campaign. And so anybody who doesn't agree that there's great turmoil and then any incumbent doesn't recognize that and have to campaign as hard as they possibly can is unaware of the passing scene. That's what I was talking about.
Would you be helpful? Would you want him to retract those statements he made, specifically about undocumented Mexican immigrants when he called them, rapists and criminals? Would you want him to retract those statements?
Oh, I don't know. I think that it's important that we understand the importance of the Hispanic vote in America. Many states, they grow. In Arizona, more than 50% of the kids in school are Hispanic. After the 2012 election, as you know, we laid out a blueprint, and part of it was outreach to the Hispanic community. I think we all recognize that the Republican Party has to do that.
And he does, too.
I assume so.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about...
I haven't talked to him.
Right now we're in the middle of vice presidential...
Yep.
Speculation game.
Okay.
What was that like in 2008 for you, and how did you end up with Sarah Palin?
Well, I still believe that, contrary to what has become the popular
now this part right here,
information and opinion is that Sarah Palin energized our ticket. I have polling data back from then that shows that she did that. She beat Joe Biden in a debate. She energized our base. We went from 3 points down to about 4 or 5 points up.
She also made some big mistakes.
Of course she made some mistakes.
Oh, my God, a person making mistakes.
Yes, obviously I made mistakes. I will take full responsibility for my failure. I will not put that responsibility on Sarah Palin. She energized our campaign, and I'm very proud of her. I don't often make a comment like this, but she was treated terribly by what we know of as the mainstream media, and that's the only thing I will ever resent about my presidential campaign is her treatment by the media. It was disgraceful.
What advice would you give Trump as he selects a vice presidential pick?
Someone who will unite the party.
Joni Ernst was just out here.
All right, I'm going to end it right there. It's pretty much, the clip is done. I got to give the man credit. I don't like the man, but I got to give him credit for him sticking up for Sarah Palin. And she was treated wrongly during that campaign. She was attacked because she was a woman. The left attacked her being a woman. And I just find the hypocrisy that they did it. But it's the Republicans that have the war on women. Just goes to show how big of double standards they hold. But you are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundits Radio. We'll be right back after this break for our final segment. Be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt, coffee mug, so many items to choose from.
So, the Weekly Standard editor Bill Kristol meeting with Mitt Romney to float third-party run. This man is not giving up. I know today is the final day in Texas to apply for a third-party run. They would have to get paperwork in by today for Texas. Time's running out, and it's just hurting. It will hurt the people. As the Never Trump forces continue to cast about for ways to knock Donald Trump from his front-runner status in the race for the White House, the editor of the Weekly Standard magazine has admitted to meeting in D.C. with Mitt Romney in order to convince him to run third-party campaign against Trump. Despite repeatedly saying he isn't interested in running for president, Mitt Romney nevertheless met last week with William Kristol. The meeting was called at the editor's behest for a talk about an independent run for the White House this year. Romney, a former Massachusetts governor and a 2012 GOP nominee for president, and fell flat on his face, failing on a slam dunk election. The man did not stand up against Obama once. He laid down for Obama to walk all over him. In March, the past GOP nominee told NBC Today host Matt Lauer that there are no circumstances I can foresee where it would possibly happen. Regardless of his pledge, Romney met with Kristol to discuss the conservative commentator's ideas about putting together a last-minute alternative to Donald Trump. He came pretty close to being elected president. I can't... Oh... So I thought he may consider doing it, especially since he has been very forthright in explaining why Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton should not be president. It's funny. Mitt Romney had no problem and begged Donald Trump for his support. But now he thinks Donald Trump is a bad man. But when he was getting his support and getting his money, it was fine. That shows you how much of a hypocrite and how disgusting these politicians are. They beg for these people's money, but when they're in battle against them, then they're bad, bad people. Oh, Trump's not a Republican. He's not a conservative. You took his money more than willingly. You held him up saying how great he was when he was giving money. That's why I don't buy all this bullshit that they're talking. He is a danger to the politician's pocket. Plain and simple. And to give you an example, it's an older article, but when we were voting on TPA for the fast track of the TPP, John Boehner got $5 million to vote yes. Paul Ryan was given $2 million to vote yes. Mitch McConnell was paid $9 million to vote yes. This is why they fight Donald Trump, because they don't want to lose that money. This is the disgust that goes on. They get bribed to vote certain ways. Not what's best for the American people. They get bribed to vote certain ways, how it would be benefit certain companies. Both sides do it. This is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican issue. Mike McCarthy got $2.4 million. This has been going on for years, and this is what we feel Donald Trump will stop. And why do you think these lobbyists are up in arms? Because they will lose their foothold. They would rather go after Trump. And these are the same people that have been bitching and moaning with the rest of us about how the politics have gone. We sat there and we heard all the mainstream media talk about how we need an outside candidate, how we need a candidate that is not a politician, how we need someone that's not going to put up with the corruption. But yet they pushed the establishment candidates. Like it or not, Ted Cruz may have been outside at one time, but he became an insider very quickly. He became part of the establishment very quickly. He was brought into politics, raised, so to speak, in politics by George Bush. He was part of George Bush's administration. And to tell me he's an outsider is laughable. We are in danger in this country. Our country's going to hell. The only ones that don't realize it are the minority of the Democrats. They don't see the issue because they're told there is no issue. Our debt is getting worse. Our unemployment is getting worse. Our economy is hanging on by a thread. And that thread is an illusion. Our stock market, yes, has gone up because it's been artificially inflated. Our government is pumping money into it to keep it afloat. And as soon as our government stops pumping money, it's going to fail. As I discussed earlier, I know Trump is not the perfect, squeaky clean image that most people want to see. I think there's a dirty job that needs to be done, and we can't have a squeaky clean appearance person coming out. Because as soon as they try to jump down in the trenches, they will get lambasted. Ryan Paul screwed himself over years ago. He had a perfect opportunity to rise up. But his rhetoric before becoming Speaker of the House, then becoming Speaker of the House and talking all this crap that he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And he has bent over for Obama every chance, every way. He has sold out the American people to the tune of $2.2 million for him to vote to fast-track TPA. And he's done the smart thing, saying he'll step down if Trump asks him. And if I was Trump, just to really put it in their ass, nope, I'm not asking him to step down. We got a long road ahead of us, people. But I've also read several articles where Democrats have kind of conceded that Trump is going to beat Hillary. And they think they ought to center their attention on the House and the Senate to try to take over both of them. People, we need to fight on both fronts. And if you do not trust Trump totally, and you are a conservative, more than a name only, if you are an actual conservative and you're worried about Trump's trustability, here's what you do. You still vote Trump, but you make sure that you vet. You make sure that you vet your senators that you're voting for, your House representatives that you're voting for. Make sure that they are and have the set of balls to stand up to a president if Trump were to get out of line, that they would stand up to him and put him back in his place. It is that simple. And that's what we should have had, and what we tried to vote for in 2014 was a House and a Senate that would put a president in his place. And with that, I wish you all a great day, and I thank you very much for having me. It is a true honor to be allowed to speak and listen to. Have a great day, and we'll see everybody tomorrow, 11 a.m., bright and early. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.